Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review. And today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the new 2.0 SH Figuarts Vegito Blue, as well as the new SH Figuarts Zamasu. Both of these reviews in the same exact video today. So that's what we're going to be doing. So first and foremost, before we get into the actual figures themselves, let's go ahead and take a look at the box for Vegito, which is honestly, let me move the figures in from the back. Honestly, for the box, it's exactly what you kind of expect with the Figuarts boxes. Kind of already have it opened. I'm not going to pretend I got the figure in the box today and then I just opened it up for the review, because I actually did it in a live stream on Instagram when I actually did the actual opening. So if you guys wanted to go and maybe are curious as to how that was when I opened them up initially, go ahead and check out my Instagram. Link will be in the description down below. And here's the box for Zamasu. You know, looking exactly the same. Well, I mean, not exactly the same. I actually think that they stepped it up a little bit with the boxes, but yeah, exactly the same stuff that you'd expect with the Figuarts boxes in general. So there you go. So without any further ado, let's get into the Vegito and Zamasu figures themselves. So starting off right over here, I know a lot of people have probably seen reviews of this Vegito already, as he has been a figure that has been out in Japan for quite a bit, and he was delayed a lot on Premium Bandai, so that's the only reason why we're getting him right now. But the figure that we don't have any reviews of is this Zamasu, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the details on this. So basically with this Zamasu, it's pretty much exactly what you're expecting this to be. Like, what this is an exact repaint of the original Fusion Zamasu that we got like a couple years back. I think yeah, actually it was just about last year, around the same time that this figure released, that we got this merged Zamasu. So yeah, it's an interesting figure that we have. But yeah, it is an exact repaint. Obviously there's a couple changes to it that's like very minor, but obviously he's not going to be having the time ring that you have right there, because this version of Zamasu did not wear the time ring. That was Goku Black's thing. But yeah, putting him off to the side, we're gonna have that Zamasu there because he goes along with the little thing of Vegito. But yeah, as for what I think of this Zamasu, I think they did a pretty good job. In all honesty, if we're gonna be looking at the overview of this thing and comparing it to like Vegito and stuff, like I think that the figure came out really cool. I think that some of the faces could have been done a little bit better, but one of the things that really lets this figure down, especially for the price point, is the lack of accessories. But yeah, as you can see going around, you do kind of have like the exact same mold right there. And you know what? So without any further ado, for this Zamasu, let's quickly get into the accessories right over here. Then we got the box and stuff, and what we got right here is the teeth grid face for this figure. And now this specific face is one I have a major issue with, and the reason why is because there's this really weirdish bluish outline, and that's on Zamasu right there at his face, and it almost looks like he has like blue lipstick, and it really looks weird. It's almost like they did a thing like they did with Piccolo all over again, but just did it specifically with this face. And looking at Zamasu right over here at this regular thing, I noticed that they actually had put that sort of bluish like line at every single one of his lips, but the difference between the one on here and the one on here is that this one is much lighter. It does the job where it highlights the mouth so that it's actually seen on the mold, and you know, it's very subtle and right, where it's just, as this one, the line work around here should not even be there in my personal opinion. I think that the actual lines around the mouth is a little bit too dark, like of a blue right there. So that's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. As for the other face that we have this smirking face, which honestly, this one might be my favorite face. I'm not specifically sure, but the reason why I really like it is because he sort of has that expression to where he's looking down, and I really like that they incorporated that. I usually only see them see this kind of stuff done with like customizers, but in this case, like having Zamasu be the guy who's giving that expression that he's looking down at all the mortals is really cool. And I guess quick tip, just so you guys can see how you want to interchange the heads, here's a little bit of an issue right here. Sometimes the head can be very difficult to swap out, but you essentially take that and you put this this head right on there. Get that right on. If this will get on, yeah, these heads are very difficult to get on at some points. It is a very difficult thing. Okay, so there we go. And then obviously for the what you want to do for the last part is you want to take the hair and actually pull it off of the original, and then you just sort of fit it like right in. There's 2 holes right here. There's obviously 2 tabs. You just plug that in right on there, and you plug it in as soon as, just so that it can on enough so it seamlessly goes on. And there you go. That is how you interchange the heads on there. So yeah, I do really like how they handled the smirking face on the Zamasu. Now this one right here, I'm gonna take this one out. This one is actually my least favorite one. Well, actually, I'm not sure, because I'll explain this. So here's the screaming face. Here's what you think. And initially when I first saw this, I was like, why didn't they put like a little bit more expressiveness into the actual face, as I feel like there could have been a whole lot more. Because, you know, with the screaming faces that Vegito has, there's obviously a lot of expression in there along with them. So it's just like having that right next to this Zamasu really makes it feel like a letdown. I guess like they didn't really go they didn't really put as much effort into these faces as they did with Vegito, that I know for a fact that they could. But at the same time, it's like, well, I like Zamasu's, like when it comes to his like expressivenesses, he really in his normal form, he really only showed that much like expression. Actually, no. Zamasu showed a lot of different expressions in his form throughout like the Goku Black arc, when he was in this. Like for example, when Goku powered up and started attacking Goku Black, he had like this gigantic gasp. And, you know, he really didn't have any screaming scenes, so it's just like, I really wish they would have put a little bit more effort into this screaming face. I feel like if they just did that, you pretty much have like the perfect set of faces for Zamasu right there. And while we're at it with the accessories, you just like, let's just get real quick and get into the hand parts. That's right in here in the box. Here's a couple of hands that I've never really seen on the Zamasu figure, and these are some newly sculpted kinds of hands that are introduced specifically with this with this one. It's like completely different altogether. And just to sort of show you how these sort of function, you get that on just like that, and bam, there you go. They're very different kinds of hands, but some that I feel like could be done for posability, like very well for posability. And yeah, you get one for like for each arm, and as well. And the other kinds of hands that you get are some karate chop type of hands, which would normally be used for like a keyblade, but in this case we don't even get a keyblade. So that's it for that. Unfortunately, that's it for all of the like accessories with Zamasu, and honestly, that's why I feel like it's a little bit of a letdown, especially when you look at how many accessories comes with Vegito over here. As like they really didn't go into very much efforts when including accessories. They just a couple of heads and a pair of hands, and really that's it. I really wish that they would have taken the time and included like a purple like keyblade. Even if they did something as small as repainting the one that came with Goku Black but made it purple, that would have been completely fine with me. And I really wish they would have gone and done that. Now, if you actually do have the Goku Black blade, you can actually go and take that and put it on the actual karate chop hand that this comes with. But unfortunately, because of the way that they did the thumb, because the thumb is not doing it's not bending out right there like the Goku Black hand would be doing, or the flat Zamasu hand, it's going to be very difficult to actually get the Keyblade on there. So that's some difficulties that I noticed when getting into it. But putting the Zamasu off to the side, you guys pretty much know exactly what to expect if you have the merged Zamasu figure. And there's really not too much else to really say about this, other than they really if you know the articulation on the merged Zamasu, then you know how this is going to be. And there's really not too much more to say about this, as again, there's just not very much that's included with this overall Zamasu. So really, that's going to be about it for that Zamasu. And if you guys are curious about the articulation, we'll get into there a little bit. But right now, I want to get back and focus in on this Vegito Blue. Now, this Vegito Blue, I actually, upon first seeing this, there was a lot that had gone through my mind upon actually seeing this in various reviews, in different sorts of promo shots, and just accessories overall. So one of the biggest competitors that they that they had when they initially released the Zamasu was actually these. I'm sorry, not Zamasu, Vegito. Oh my God, Hunter's gonna kill me. One of the biggest things that was compared to with this Vegito was actually the demonical fit one that was initially the. I guess you can say this was the best Vegito blue figure that we had actually had up until this point where they had released this one. And so here, let's go into a couple differences that we have with this one. So first off, this is gonna bother some people. They made it so that the V shape on here is exactly the same V shape that you have right here on the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. Like they just pretty much used the exact same sculpt of Goku almost throughout the entire thing. All they really did was change the belt, and yeah, that was really it for the Goku, and also like they included the gloves and stuff and whatnot. But pretty much you're looking at a very basic like repaint of the original Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku with a couple of added like stuff added in there, which is that's usual for Vegito. Like it's kind of expected. As you know, that's how it is with a lot of this stuff. But another thing that is different is like between the two is the hair color. Now, my initial thing when it comes to the hair color that I was worried about with Vegito is that the thing that made this one good when it first came out was that it maintained the consistency that we had for all of the Super Saiyan Blue figures, the 2.0 Super Saiyan Blue figures we've gotten from Figuarts. So, for example, right here is the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as well as the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. And obviously, because of the fact that they used the colors that was in the Broly movie, there was a little bit of differences, right? Like, obviously, it has like some of those colors that are accurate right there. And I guess when you look at this Vegito over here, like there's obviously like a difference right here in colors, but I don't feel like this one is so outwardly different to where it completely breaks the consistency between the colors. I think it actually sort of works, but it obviously has. It's obvious. It obviously does look different. So I mean, I could see it possibly bothering someone, but specifically for me, when it comes to the consistency, I'm not really bothered by it at all. And just so you guys just have like the comparison for this video, like for the other Vegito Blue figure that came out. Here's the one right here that from the Tamashi Nation's World Tour event that actually got released like a little over 2 years ago. So yeah, they got this Vegito. I feel like this is the reason why they put out this Vegito is just so that they can take away the sales from the demonical fit and have their own out there. But at the same time, because it was released by Premium Bandai, it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to get this. So the ironic thing is that because of the fact that this is a Premium Bandai exclusive and it's going to be difficult for people to go ahead and grab this, I feel like a lot of people are going to end up going with this one anyway, just because it's going to be the more easier option to pick up for the for the line. But yeah, look, you can definitely. I feel like what they actually did with this Vegito, oh my god, is that they sort of went with like a combination, not making it like they made this one and that one, and then sort of gave it like an in between, so where it fits as an in between type of hairpiece for both of these. And I really think that when you're going around with that option, that to me was a pretty decent idea, as it doesn't completely break the inconsistency, but also has its consistency as well with the original 1.0 Vegito Blue that they released a couple years back. So that's what I think when it comes to the actual hair sculpt itself. And as usual for the articulation, which we'll get into in a little bit, it's essentially the same exact articulation as you have with the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. But for the accessories, this is where I feel like Vegito is elevated significantly. And between this one and the demonical fit, so here's the thing about demonical fits Vegito is that this right here, this was a hair piece that was like this right here, the Super Saiyan Blue pieces that was released was actually like a side accessory that you had to spend like I think like $20 to $30 in order to go ahead and pick up to get on your initial demonical fit Vegito. So that right there already is going to have like it's sorts of problems. But if we're going to be talking about the accessories that came with the original like Super Saiyan Vegito, which that one was initially meant to be a recreation of, then in terms of forms, that like the initial Super Saiyan Vegito comes with the base form and Super Saiyan form, but this Vegito only comes with one transformation, that being the that being the Vegito Blue, and there's no base form head that comes included with that, which to me was a really big letdown with this Vegito, and I really kind of wish that they went and, you know, did that, but, you know, that's something right there that I guess what you have for third-party companies for, like Demonical Fit, who has actually teased already that they're making some different forms. But considering how all of the other accessories are with the Vegito, I'm actually willing to let them slide on that one, as there's just a lot. So for the first accessory that we have a lot of optional hands, but for the effect pieces, we actually get this really large beam sword effect, which is honestly really cool, and it actually has a lot of features on there that is really different, that I'm really glad that they included with this actual figure itself. And that feature is essentially, you can take and I'll get into that in a little bit, but I'll get into it right now. Basically, there's this accessory that goes in, and you essentially take this piece. So what you want to do is you want to take your Shfiguarts merged Zamasu, and you want to attach this piece onto his back, which honestly I don't really like doing this because of the fact that sometimes it can chip away at the plastic when applying accessories on like that. But you essentially get that on like that, and what you want to do, and I'm kind of going to be fiddling around a little bit with this, what you want to do is you want to take this piece out, and then you actually want to take out this peg as well, which is, that actually came out surprisingly easy. So then after you take out that peg, you want to go ahead and line up the like the slot right in there to get this right in. And essentially from there you want to take, this hand out. Go ahead, if I can get this thing out. The hands go in there very tightly. That's something that is probably good to know for you right there. You want to take this the beam sword hand, and this is already like a really large accessory, but essentially you want to get this right in there, and it fits in there very nicely. I definitely gotta say it does a pretty good job. And then the idea is that you get Vegito standing in a very similar pose right over here. You want to raise up the leg a little bit, and then essentially just put this in with Zamasu, and you just gotta I'm not gonna go too much into this, but basically you gotta get a stand, balance it or something in order to get this pose going. And when you have something over here that's that you can do with other figures, I really think that is a fantastic way to introduce some more playability into the line. I actually really like that they went and did that with this Vegito. So let me just take this off. And surprisingly, with this one, there's no plastic chipping like there is with the ring accessory that comes on the that comes on the Zamasu. So that's something that's always good to see right on there. And let me just put the sword back together. And then another wonderful effect piece that you get with this Vegito is this final Kamehameha effect, and I really honestly like the way that this came out. I actually think that the blast effect is very similar to the one that came with the original SH Figuarts Broly, and they basically just added in some lightning pieces that goes around it. And honestly, I really don't mind that if they did actually do that, I really don't mind that they did, as I feel like this came out really well. You don't really see playability like this with the Figuarts very often, and I'm really glad that they went in and touched in on it. So basically, you want to have this hand pegged in at the very start before you get the accessory on. So you get that in, and then you get this hand right on there. You get the thing right in the hole right there, which I think sometimes can take a little bit of time to actually finagle in, and you want to be very careful. I mean, I'd say you want to be very careful, but I don't know how you can be too careful, as you can see right there, the spikes on there is kind of poking in at the hand. You kind of gotta do that anyways. And then it really, in order to finish off the actual look itself, basically you can get the other, if you wanted to, you could get this gripping hand, well, not this one, this other one right here, and then just attach it in there. But the hand that I actually like to use is for the final Kamehameha is actually this one, as this one I feel like he's actually, when you put this on, he's actually holding it a lot more, and it makes it feel like the actual ki blast is about to fire is going to be like a really powerful one. Like he's holding a huge amount of energy in between his hands, and I really like that. So you get the pose going on right there, and then really in order to complete the look of this, what you want to do is you want to take this head off completely, and you get this screaming head right over here. And this is exactly what they have displayed on the box. And having Vegito, like, I'm not going to put too much effort, and I'll pose it as best as I can. And basically, just like this, you pose Vegito ready to fire the final Kamehameha piece. And I really like how this came out. I, like, honestly just enjoy. You know, and I'm not going to be complaining right here, like, oh my god, the face is looking off to the side and it's preventing him from being able to do some posability. Like, no, in this case, it's because, like, it's totally fine with me, because they included another screaming face that has, like, the eyes looking off straight. And yeah, so basically, let's get this effect piece out and over. So yeah, you get, like, for accessories, I guess you can see them right here for the hands. You get, like, this, like these final Kamehameha hand, and also one like this without the actual peg hole in it. And you get that for both hands as well. And then also, as you can see right here, you get like this really wide open hand, which I think is also used for the scene where Vegito held Zamasu down on the ground, or it could be used for something else completely. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, it's just, those are some hands right there that is nice for you to have. But I mean, taking a break from the hands real quick, let's actually get back into the other faces, and I'll get into the screaming face right over here. And as you may notice, there's some front hair pieces that are not attached in there, and the reason why is because you want to take the actual front hair pieces, detach it from there, and plug it into this Vegito. And honestly, like, I actually kind of like that. I like that they made that into an option. Like they made that into the way that it functions between all the Vegitos, because it's just like the front hair piece, what you can actually do, and it's not necessarily something that really works, but I mean, hey, it's just something you can do, is that if you wanted to have Vegito into like a power-up scene, you can kind of plug the bangs in like upside downward, and then just like, here, let's get this other hand so you can get the full effect. And then he just powers up, like that. So I mean, in some shots, you know what, I actually think this works. You know, even though it's not really meant for this, as you know, as for some angles, it looks a little strange. I actually like, it's just like that playability factor that you have with the bangs is really what I feel makes that whole thing like fun. You know, it's not meant to like to do that, but it's the playability factor that matters right here with this Vegito, and that's why I'm really just enjoying that. And as for the final face that this comes with, is it actually comes with the teeth gritted face, which is another really nice face. And I remember that, if I recall correctly, this was the expression that he had on him right before he instant transmissioned in order to go and punch Zamasu, right, and it was a punch that he landed on Zamasu right before that he had actually defused in the actual show. So there you pretty much have it right there. And that's really it with the faces. And one of the things I really wish they would have included with this is a stern face. And usually a stern face, when it comes to some of these figures, is a mandatory facial expression that you include on the Shfiguarts figures. And to people that are going to be saying, oh well, Vegito didn't really have have that sort of facial expression. Well, actually, no, he did. If you recall in the shot in the actual anime, where Zamasu fired a ki blast, Vegito was blocking that ki blast, and he had like this stern face on him, like he was taking that blast seriously. And when Vegito has the stern face, that to me is the badass Vegito like moment right there. I really wish that they would have included a stern face right there. And I guess for like another like hand right there, you got to get the full effect right over here. Again, is that you want to have him like have like the stern, like the smirking face right over here. Plug this in, and then you essentially are supposed to have him like come on, Mr. God, I thought you were like above me, something like that. Like just from that one shot in the anime, which is what this hand is meant for. And then he also comes with some instant transmission hands, as well, which is again is for that same shot that I was talking about with the teeth grid face. And finally for the accessories, you get some open palm type hands with this Vegito, and we're finally done with all of the accessories. And as you can see, for the price point that Vegito is, you know, he comes with a lot of accessories. Is damn packed with a whole lot of different things, and that right there shows you just how much of a difference there is between him and the Zamasu. Him and the Zamasu are actually just around the same price upon release, and it goes to show a huge difference in the budgeting that was put into the Vegito and to the Zamasu itself. And I really wish that they could have balanced some other stuff in with this Zamasu and gave him a little bit of the love that they showed to Vegito. Like, it's something that I really honestly disappoints me a little bit with this Zamasu figure. I mean, it's not something that I'm necessarily gonna hate about the figure, as I feel like they, like, for the, I mean, they pretty, no, I gotta be real. Like, they really should have included more accessories with this Zamasu, and that's really. And if you're looking for the articulation, it is pretty much exactly the same articulation over here that you have with the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. There's a couple differences with this Vegito though, so we might as well get into it. So the head looks all the way up, and it is because of the fact that they pretty much like made it so that the neck is like really long on here for some reason. Like, the peg that they have is very like long in there. And another thing that I noticed about it is that because of the way that they have the actual like the place that they've decided to plug the hole in, where the peg fits into in this hair piece, it makes it so that the hair is actually a lot more like backwards on Vegito, and making it so that there's a lot of space. So if it was more centered, there would be like it would be like more balanced. But you kind of have it so that where you can't really get him looking down a lot without the face almost coming off. You have to like push the face back in. But it's the reason why you have so much articulation with the Vegito figure looking up. And then you pretty much got like the standard joint in there for the Shfiguarts figure. So yeah, the rest here is pretty much like the same. You know, articulation right in there. You know, like you got the bicep swivel, double jointed arms, which goes in exactly the same Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. Right here, we've got the gloves moving around just like as they normally do with the way that the joint does. It moves down like up right there with the ab crunch. You can kind of like when using both joints, you can kind of use like the middle area right there at the joint to sort of get you a little bit more range right there. But you know, for the most part, this is the natural kind of stuff you get without using the legs right here for expressiveness, and you know, exactly the same. Except with this one right here, you actually get some some really nice waist articulation. And on the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku, I guess there's a difference right there. You don't really get too much of that. So, but yeah, like this one actually goes in and it stays like that. Like Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku just kind of goes back in place. The feet move forward out right there. And I'm actually just noticing right there's a little bit of shading right there at the actual bottom of the feet. So there you go. There's even more budget going into this Vegito than initially thought up. There's his thigh swivel right there, and he can do the splits. Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay, so I guess I just noticed a problem. I'm moving the thing up. I just sort of pushed it a little bit into the thing, so you got to be like really careful when you move this in. Okay, so there you go. You want to make sure that that piece goes right underneath the like the floating area at the crotch piece, right over there. And the knees move in just like that, and like your typical Shfiguarts joints. And unfortunately, a really disappointing factor with this Vegito is he has a very tight ankle pivot that's very similar to the to the actual Vegeta boots. And that's another disappointing thing with Vegito. They really should have had better ankle pivot on him, and that's really unfortunate. And as for the lack of articulation, he has a very tight toe pivot, like not really too much like toe articulation in there. And that's pretty much all there is with the Vegito. So I mean, I guess like one of the things that really is let down with the Vegito is that I feel like they could have used this as an opportunity to go and give him like some new, like they could have honestly gone and fixed up the articulation that they have in the ankles like they have with every single Vegeta figure. And that's something that I could have honestly been fixed right there. They just didn't do. And as for Zamasu, we're just going to go into his articulation a little bit more. Actually, in terms of the articulation here in the neck, there's actually a lot less in the neck in here, surprisingly, than there is with the merged Zamasu. I guess it's because of the fact that with this Zamasu, and I'm just now noticing that the neck on the regular Zamasu is, you know, a lot shorter, and this one is a lot longer, and it's because of the fact that with the neck mechanisms that's in there, it gives him a whole lot more articulation, whereas this one, it sort of stays more in place, and honestly, it's hard to tell where the peg is at, but yeah, honestly, Zamasu can't move his head back very far at all so that he can really be looking up. So I guess that's something that's a little bit strange with this. He doesn't have as much articulation, in there. Pretty sure the arms are exactly the same though as it is on the merged Zamasu. You know, biceps are right there, double jointed arms. The hands move around just like how they usually do with all the Shfiguarts hand joints. You get an ab crunch that moves this far forward, this far back. Really nice articulation right in there. No gapping at all. The legs do splits because the thing is made out of rubber, and if you have the merged Zamasu, you know that already. Double jointed knees goes in very, very far, like ridiculously far. So you can get this man into some crazy poses that really he does not deserve to be in sometimes, like with this thing. And the articulation in the actual feet is actually way better than the actual Zamasu. And surprisingly enough, you would think that, you know, it would be worse considering how they have like the double ball pegs, but really, honestly, the fact that Zamasu till this day has so much better articulation than someone that's the wrong Vegito. Someone for Vegito who has had a lot of figure renditions of him, like this is made obviously made from like a version of like this. I'm pretty sure the mechanisms here is exactly the same as the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. The fact that they still have not fixed that, and you know, you have characters like Zamasu having better ankle articulation than Vegito, says a lot about the Shfiguarts line. And really, they honestly need to get that all worked out. I really wish that they would go and do that. But honestly, that's about it for the actual figure review itself. I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So the place that I picked this up from was Premium Bandai. I just got this in yesterday. I was really excited, and you know, and yeah, like did not expect to get the shipment in on a Sunday of all the time. But yeah, that's about it for the review. For the articulation. And in terms of the actual play factor, do I recommend the Vegito, this Vegito over the Demonical Fit? To answer the question, I'm going to honestly say yes. I think that, you know, even though the Demonical Fit one has like its perks, I will say that, okay. In terms of the Super Saiyan sculpting, like Demonical Fit's Vegito has its own reasons to be picked up right now, even with this Vegito Blue having been released. But actually right now, Demonical Fit is going to be going and releasing some other Vegito hairs to go along with this one. So you might not even need this one anymore, as this will be the body mold that you need to go along with. And also, if the V shape bothers you, you can also take this Demonical Fit Vegito and just like sort of switch out the torso. There may be a little inconsistency with the colors, but for the most part, the colors are almost exactly the same on the Vegito. So I will say, yeah, this Vegito, I think you will, in terms of the quality and everything, you're definitely going to want to pick it up over Demonical Fit, as that's something that's guaranteed with the purchase of a Shfiguarts figure. And in terms of the Zamasu, as you know, only pick them up if you really need a good Zamasu in your collection, which is honestly the best one that we have, which is like, you know, that says a lot. There's not really like a lot of like crazy good Zamasus other than the Dragon Stars version. And it's actually honestly funny because it has the same amount, it has pretty much almost the same amount of accessories as that said Dragon Stars version, other than the facial expressions and stuff. But yeah, and anyways, you guys decide what you think is best for you to pick up. At the end of the day, it is going to be your investment and you investing into what you need for your collection. And just know that this information is here if you ever want to make that decision for yourselves. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Till then.